Why Leonor's crown could spark debate. The moment Princess Leonor steps into the spotlight as Spain's future queen is one the nation has anticipated for decades. But what should be a unifying moment for a proud monarchy is stirring deep debates across the country. Why? Because the crown she is set to inherit carries with it centuries of history, weighty responsibility, and a Spain that is more divided than many realize. The story of her succession is not just about tradition, it's about identity, politics, and the delicate balance between the past and the future. Spain, like many constitutional monarchies, has long celebrated its royal family as a symbol of continuity and stability. The crown represents more than a figurehead, it is a link to a legacy stretching back to times of empire, upheaval, and renewal. Yet, even as the nation watches Princess Leonor prepare to step into her role, there are voices questioning what the monarchy means today. Are they a unifying force, or a reminder of an unequal past? The debate is not abstract, it is personal, political, and increasingly urgent. Leonor herself is young, intelligent, and poised. Educated in both Spain and abroad, she embodies a modern royal who is fully aware of the responsibilities she will inherit. From attending diplomatic events to mastering the languages and protocols of global governance, she is being meticulously prepared to lead. Yet preparation alone cannot quell the questions that linger. How does a monarchy stay relevant in a 21st-century democracy? And how will her reign address the tensions that simmer quietly across regions like Catalonia and the Basque Country, where questions of independence and national identity are ever present? The debate around her succession is fueled by contrasting visions of Spain's future. On one hand, supporters argue that Leonor represents stability and hope. They see in her a bridge between tradition and modernity, a young leader capable of carrying Spain forward with dignity. On the other hand, critics see the crown as an institution out of step with the times. They question the idea of hereditary power, the cost of maintaining the monarchy, and its relevance in a society where citizens demand accountability, transparency, and equality. Her impending ascension also forces Spain to confront uncomfortable historical truths. The monarchy, after all, has been intertwined with periods of both glory and controversy. The Franco era, for example, left scars that are still felt today, and the monarchy's role in navigating that complex history has never fully escaped scrutiny. This legacy shapes perceptions of Leonor before she has even officially taken the throne. Will she be seen as a symbol of continuity, or as a reminder of unresolved divisions? Beyond the political dimension, there is also the generational divide. Younger Spaniards, who have grown up in a digital era of global connectivity and social change, often view monarchy differently than their parents or grandparents. Social media amplifies these debates, making every public appearance a moment of both celebration and scrutiny. Every speech, every gesture, every choice in attire is dissected for what it signals about her approach to leadership. And in a country where opinions are strong and history is heavy, this scrutiny is relentless. Yet even as critics question the monarchy, Leonor's position is uniquely positioned to influence the national conversation. The crown can serve as a platform to unify, to inspire, and to show that tradition and progress are not mutually exclusive. Her challenge will be to demonstrate that a constitutional monarchy can evolve, address modern concerns, and still respect the weight of history. Success will require careful navigation, empathy, and a willingness to engage with a country that is both proud and impatient for change. Internationally, her succession will also attract attention. Monarchies around the world are watching Spain as a case study in adaptation. Can a young heir embody modern values while honoring centuries-old traditions? Diplomats and foreign leaders will scrutinize how she handles issues like national unity, cultural identity, and Spain's role in Europe and beyond. Her leadership will not be confined to ceremonial duties, it will influence Spain's image and credibility on the global stage. As debates rage, it is clear that Leonor's crown is more than a piece of jewelry, it is a symbol charged with political, cultural, and emotional significance. The question is not only who she will be as a queen but what Spain will become in her reign. Will her leadership mend divisions or deepen them? Will she embrace modernization while preserving heritage, or will the pressures of public expectation challenge her ability to lead? In the end, the crown may spark debate precisely because it represents a crossroads. It is a tangible reminder that Spain is a nation negotiating its identity, balancing between tradition and change, unity and regional autonomy, past grievances and future aspirations. Princess Leonor stands at the center of this dialogue, a figure both celebrated and scrutinized, carrying the hopes of some and the doubts of others. Her story is still being written, and history will ultimately judge her reign. But one thing is certain, As she prepares to step into her role, the conversation surrounding her crown reveals as much about Spain today as it does about its monarchy. The debates, divisions, and discussions she inspires are a reflection of a country grappling with who it is, who it wants to be, and what role the crown should play in that journey. And so, as Spain watches, the tension remains palpable. The crown is more than gold and jewels, it is a mirror of the nation itself, reflecting both pride and uncertainty, hope and contention. Princess Leonor may one day wear it with grace, confidence, and wisdom. But for now, the debates it sparks serve as a reminder that even symbols of continuity must earn their place in the hearts and minds of the people. Spain stands divided, yes, but it also stands at the threshold of a new chapter, one that will be defined not only by history but by how its future queen chooses to lead. The reaction to Leonor's upcoming reign is not uniform. Across Spain, opinions diverge sharply, reflecting deep social and regional complexities. In Madrid, celebrations highlight pride in continuity and the hope that the monarchy can be a stabilizing force in uncertain times. Ceremonies, portraits, and public tributes paint her as a poised heir, ready to embody the dignity of the crown. But beyond the capital, the picture is far more complicated. In regions like Catalonia, skepticism runs deep. Here, the monarchy is often seen as a symbol of centralized authority, at odds with the local desire for autonomy and self-determination. Streets are filled with voices questioning whether a crown inherited by birthright can genuinely represent a modern, pluralistic Spain. The debates go beyond politics into cultural identity. For many, the monarchy is a living connection to Spain's history, a reminder of centuries of art, diplomacy, and tradition. For others, it is a reminder of a hierarchy that feels outdated and exclusionary. Leonor, at the center of this, faces the unique challenge of bridging these perspectives. Her generation grew up in a world where media spreads both admiration and criticism instantaneously. Every public gesture is interpreted, every comment scrutinized. Social media users debate her attire, her public statements, and even the tone of her speeches. Supporters praise her composure, critics question her authenticity. In this environment, even minor actions can ignite national conversation. The crown's symbolism is another point of contention. It is not just an emblem of authority but a reminder of past struggles, from civil conflicts to contentious political moments. The monarchy has weathered scandals, public scrutiny, and evolving expectations. Now, as Leonor prepares to ascend, the institution itself faces pressure to modernize without losing its identity. Observers ask, can the monarchy remain relevant if it fails to adapt? Can it inspire loyalty among a younger generation that increasingly questions inherited power? These questions are not theoretical, they shape public opinion and, ultimately, the stability of the crown she is about to inherit. International perspectives add another layer. Monarchies in Europe watch closely, comparing Spain's situation to their own. Countries like the United Kingdom, Sweden, and the Netherlands are navigating similar generational transitions, balancing tradition with the demands of a modern electorate. Foreign media scrutinizes every move Leonor makes, framing her not just as Spain's future queen, but as a potential model, or cautionary tale, for monarchies worldwide. Diplomats consider her education, public demeanor, and approach to national challenges as indicators of Spain's trajectory on the global stage. Yet despite criticism and debate, there is hope that Leonor's reign could redefine what it means to be a modern monarch. Advocates suggest that a young queen could bring energy, empathy, and adaptability to a centuries-old institution. By engaging directly with citizens, understanding the concerns of diverse regions, and embracing transparency, she could strengthen the monarchy's relevance. Her challenge will be immense, but so too is the opportunity. A single generation has the power to reshape public perception, turning skepticism into support, and division into dialogue. What remains undeniable is that the crown is no longer a neutral symbol. It carries with it the weight of expectations, historical memory, and contemporary debate. Leonor must navigate this landscape carefully. Every public appearance, every diplomatic engagement, and every personal decision will be scrutinized for what it signals about her values and leadership style. The crown, once a symbol of unquestioned authority, has become a litmus test for legitimacy in a modern democracy. As Spain approaches this pivotal moment, the nation stands divided, not necessarily in hostility but in anticipation. Citizens debate, question, and hope. Academics and political analysts dissect the implications of her ascension. Media coverage fluctuates between reverence and critique. In this climate, Leonor's actions will carry profound consequences, not only for her personal legacy but for the monarchy's survival and Spain's sense of unity. And so, the story of her crown is far from over. It is a story of tension between past and present, tradition and modernity, unity and regional identity. Each day leading up to her official succession adds another layer to the debate, another angle for discussion, and another test of the monarchy's ability to remain relevant in the eyes of its people. Princess Leonor is not merely stepping into a ceremonial role, she is stepping into the heart of a national conversation that has been centuries in the making, and one that will define the course of Spain for decades to come. As the day of her formal succession approaches, the nation's attention intensifies. Streets that once echoed with routine chatter now buzz with conversations about the crown, the future queen, and the path Spain will take under her leadership. Television debates, social media threads, and opinion columns dissect every detail. Will Leonor represent continuity, or signal a new era? Can a monarchy, inherited by birthright, meet the expectations of a modern, democratic society? The questions are complex, and the answers remain uncertain. Political parties weigh in, some cautiously supportive, others openly critical. Those aligned with central government authority emphasize stability and the symbolic role of the monarchy in preserving national unity. They argue that Leonor's ascension is a moment to celebrate heritage and continuity. Conversely, regional parties, particularly in Catalonia and the Basque Country, highlight the disconnect between hereditary monarchy and the democratic will of the people. They question the relevance of a crown that represents centralized power while regions advocate for greater autonomy. These debates are not mere rhetoric, they shape policy discussions, public demonstrations, and even the tone of future elections. Public sentiment mirrors this division. Supporters admire her poise, her education, and her dedication to duty. They see in her a young leader capable of embodying Spain's best qualities while respecting the country's traditions. Yet critics are equally vocal, framing the monarchy as an institution out of step with contemporary values, one that requires reform if it is to survive. Polls show fluctuating approval ratings, with many citizens expressing uncertainty, admiration tempered with doubt. This ambivalence captures the essence of Spain today, a country proud of its history but acutely aware of the need for adaptation. Cultural commentators add another layer to the discourse. Artists, writers, and journalists debate not only the politics of the crown, but also its symbolic meaning. To some, Leonor represents hope and renewal, a bridge between past and future. To others, she embodies a system that relies on inherited privilege rather than earned authority. The conversation touches on identity, equality, and national cohesion. It is no longer simply about one person or one institution, it is about Spain grappling with its values and aspirations. The international community is watching closely. Monarchies in Europe and beyond see Spain as a litmus test for the relevance of traditional institutions in the 21st century. Analysts study her education, her public appearances, and her speeches for clues about the monarchy's direction. Media outlets worldwide frame her succession as a pivotal moment, not just for Spain, but for constitutional monarchies everywhere. Will Leonor modernize the institution while respecting its heritage, or will the pressures of public scrutiny reveal inherent tensions that have long been simmering beneath the surface? Amidst this scrutiny, the crown becomes a focal point for broader societal debates. Economic concerns, social inequality, and generational divides intersect with the discussion of monarchy. Citizens question whether the institution can evolve to reflect contemporary values while preserving national identity. Activists call for reforms, demanding transparency and accountability. Supporters counter that the monarchy provides stability in a world often defined by uncertainty and change. In this dialogue, Leonor herself is both participant and symbol, the individual and the institution intertwined. Despite the controversies, there is an undeniable opportunity. A young, well-prepared queen could transform the monarchy's image, connecting with citizens across regions, generations, and social divides. By embracing diplomacy, education, and engagement, Leonor could demonstrate that the crown is not just a relic of the past, but a platform for leadership that is relevant, respected, and meaningful. Success will require wisdom, patience, and courage, but the potential for influence is vast. As the nation edges closer to the moment when she will officially don the crown, anticipation and tension coexist. Spain is poised at a crossroads, caught between pride in tradition and the desire for progress. The crown, heavy with history, is also heavy with expectation. How Leonor navigates this intricate landscape will define not only her reign but the monarchy's place in Spain for generations to come. The debates she inspires today are more than disagreements, they are a reflection of a country negotiating its identity, values, and future. Finally, the day arrives. Princess Leonor stands poised to officially inherit the crown, and with it, the hopes, fears, and expectations of an entire nation. Across Spain, people gather, some with admiration, others with skepticism. The ceremonies are steeped in history, yet the moment feels charged with the urgency of the present. Every gaze, every gesture, every word carries meaning. For Leonor, the weight of centuries rests lightly on her shoulders but profoundly in the eyes of those watching. She is both an individual stepping into her destiny and a symbol of Spain itself, at a moment when unity and division coexist uneasily. As she dons the crown, the reactions are as diverse as the country itself. Supporters celebrate continuity and stability, seeing in her composure a promise that the monarchy can endure and evolve. Critics, meanwhile, frame the moment as a reminder of the unresolved tensions and debates that have long defined the institution. In this split response, the crown becomes more than a symbol of authority, it becomes a mirror reflecting Spain's identity, its history, and the questions it continues to grapple with about leadership, equality, and relevance. Yet amid division, there is also opportunity. Leonor has the chance to shape the narrative, to prove that monarchy and modernity need not be opposites. By engaging with citizens, respecting regional identities, and embracing transparency, she can redefine the crown's role for a new generation. The monarchy, once an unquestioned institution, can now earn its legitimacy anew, through wisdom, empathy, and action. The debates she sparks are not signs of weakness, but evidence that Spain cares deeply about its future and the leaders who will guide it. History will remember this moment not only as the passing of a crown but as a pivotal juncture in Spain's story. Princess Leonor's reign begins at the intersection of tradition and transformation. Her success will depend on her ability to navigate a divided nation, honor centuries of legacy, and respond to the demands of a modern society. The crown she inherits is heavy with expectation, yes, but it is also a tool, one that can unite, inspire, and shape a country poised for change. In the end, the question is not only who Princess Leonor will be as queen, but who Spain will become under her reign. The debates, the discussions, and the divisions that surround her succession reveal a nation grappling with its identity and its future. The crown is a symbol, yes, but it is also a responsibility, a challenge, and an invitation to lead with both courage and humility. As the ceremonies conclude and the crowds disperse, one thing becomes clear: Spain stands at a crossroads. The nation is divided, yet the hope remains that through thoughtful leadership, dialogue, and vision, unity can be strengthened. Princess Leonor may one day wear the crown with grace and authority, and in doing so, she has the potential to turn debate into dialogue, skepticism into trust, and a moment of division into a legacy of resilience. The crown is not just a symbol of what has been, it is a promise of what can be. And in that promise, lies the story of Spain's future, carried on the shoulders of a young queen whose reign will define the nation for generations to come.